North Korea is a country where almost nothing works the way we are used to understanding it in the rest of the world, and sport is no exception. Behind the curtain of official propaganda lies a system that uses sport as a tool of politics, social control, and regime image building. To understand what sport is in North Korea, one must first understand what this state itself is, the only country in the world where an athlete can receive medals and awards from the dictator on one day and end up in a forced labor camp the next for performing too poorly on the international stage. Sport in North Korea is completely subordinated to the party and the state. There is nothing there that resembles a free sports market, private academies, or independent clubs. Every sports organization operates under the strict supervision of the Ministry of Physical Culture and Sports, and athletes' results are treated as an element of national prestige directly tied to the leader's authority. Kim Jong-un has personally attended national sportspeople conferences on multiple occasions, where he proclaimed that those who win gold medals and spread the country's honor are true patriots, heroes remembered by the party and the nation. That sentence sounds proud, but it has a dark side. Athletes know perfectly well what awaits them if they fail to meet expectations. The sports training system begins very early. Children are observed already in primary school for aptitude in specific disciplines. If a child shows exceptional ability, they may be sent to a specialized sports school, where from an early age they undergo intense state-funded training. On the one hand, this sounds like care for talent. On the other, it means tearing the child away from normal family life and subordinating their existence solely to the regime's interests. The family does not protest, because protest in North Korea is out of the question. The most successful sport in North Korea is weightlifting. North Korean weightlifters, especially in the lightest weight categories, dominated international arenas for years. At the Summer Olympic Games in London in 2012, North Korea won 4 gold medals, 3 in weightlifting, thanks to Rim Jong-sim, Oh Myun-chol, and Kim Un-guk, and 1 gold in judo, won by An Kumai. Weightlifting became something like a national asset in this country, and the strongmen of Pyongyang were for years regarded as among the best in the world in their categories. Beyond weightlifting, North Korea also achieved success in combat sports, judo, wrestling, and taekwondo, as well as in table tennis. Athletes such as Kim Hyok-bong and Kim Jong ranked among the world's elite in this sport. At the Summer Olympic Games in Paris in 2024, the pair Kim Kum-yong and Ri Jong-sik won a silver medal in mixed team table tennis, losing only to China. It was a rare moment when North Korea appeared positively on the sporting stage, but returning home became a source of serious trouble for those athletes. But more on that in a moment. North Korea first competed at the Summer Olympic Games in 1972 in Munich. Since then, it has taken part in most summer games, except Los Angeles in 1984, Seoul in 1988, and Tokyo in 2021. Its best medal haul was in Barcelona in 1992, when the country won 4 golds and 9 medals in total. At the Winter Games, North Korea also competed, though with less success. The only winter silver medal was won by a female speed skater at the Innsbruck Games in 1964. And in 1992 in Albertville, they celebrated a bronze in short track. But behind these Olympic numbers lies a much darker reality. For years, North Korea has used sport as a tool of propaganda, often for domestic consumption. State television, the only one that exists in the country, for a long time served citizens fabricated news about supposed successes by compatriots on the world stage. On the internet, you can find a fake video allegedly produced by Korean television, in which North Korean footballers are shown winning the World Cup in 2014. Of course, this is a hoax, but it perfectly illustrates the method the regime uses toward its own citizens. It is better to fabricate a victory than admit defeat. And the defeats were painful. In 1966, North Korea's football team, known as Cheolima, a name inspired by the mythical winged horse, achieved something no one expected. It defeated Italy 1-0 and advanced from its group at the World Cup in England. In the quarter-final, however, it lost to Portugal 5-3, despite leading 3-0. That unexpected success remained North Korean football's greatest achievement for a long time. For the following decades, the country practically did not exist on the world football map. The return came only in 2010, when North Korea qualified for the World Cup in South Africa. It lost all 3 matches there, and the low point of the tournament was a painful 0-7 defeat to Portugal. It was this result that North Korean residents were not told about. Instead, citizens heard something entirely different, or simply heard nothing at all. Meanwhile, the players were arrested after returning to the country. According to unofficial reports, they were interrogated, and some of them were sent to forced labor camps. The team coach also did not escape repression. This story is not isolated. The mechanism is simple. Success is rewarded and celebrated. Failure is treason against the nation. Kim Jong-un has publicly praised Olympic medalists as models of patriotic virtue, rewarding them with certificates and apartments in Pyongyang, as happened after the successes of 2010. But the other side of the coin is brutal. Athletes who fail to meet expectations could pay with their freedom, and in extreme cases with much more. Especially telling is the story of Han Kwang-song, one of the most talented footballers North Korea has produced. A former Juventus and Qatari Al Duhail player, whom a North Korean footballer later called a talent that appears once every 10, perhaps 20 years, vanished from public view for more than 3 years. He was last seen in 2020, when he was forced to return to North Korea because of UN sanctions. After a long silence, he reappeared in 2023 in a World Cup qualifying match. What happened to him during those years remains a mystery. Being abroad itself is dangerous as well. Athletes traveling to international competitions are given detailed instructions by the authorities before departure. They are to avoid all contact with athletes from other countries, not get drawn into conversations, not accept any materials, and protect themselves from so-called undesirable outside influences. Any violations of these rules are to be severely punished. In practice, even innocent gestures can end in serious consequences. Proof? At the Olympic Games in Paris in 2024, after the table tennis medal ceremony, athletes from China, North Korea, and South Korea spontaneously took a group photo together. The photo circled the world as a gesture of reconciliation across divisions. In Pyongyang, the reaction was completely different. After their return, the athletes Kim Kum-yong and Ri Jong-sik were subjected to so-called ideological control, a special procedure checking whether contact with foreign culture had not distorted their beliefs. The verification proceeds in 3 stages. First by the Central Committee of the Workers' Party, then by the Ministry of Physical Culture and Sports, and finally by fellow competitors themselves. In the reports, the athletes were criticized, among other things, for smiling while posing for a photo with representatives of the country the regime considers enemy number 1. Sport in North Korea also serves purely decorative and propagandistic purposes. The Mayday Stadium on Rungra Island in Pyongyang, opened in 1989, is officially the world's largest stadium by capacity, estimated at 150,000 seats, though various sources give a figure of about 114,000. The structure is distinguished by a characteristic roof made up of 16 arches, forming the shape of a magnolia flower. It is on this very ground that North Korea's football team plays its matches, and the stands are filled to 100%, though mainly with soldiers who are required to attend sporting events. This stadium is simultaneously the venue for the mass games, that is, mass gymnastic and propaganda spectacles. The Arirang Festival, one of the largest events of its kind in history, was entered into the Guinness World Records in 2007 as the world's largest gymnastic display. Exactly 100,090 performers took part. Thousands of participants move in absolute synchronization, creating living mosaics in honor of the party and the leader. It is a visually impressive spectacle, but in essence, it is another tool of control. Each participant is someone who has trained under compulsion for months in order to express loyalty to the regime in perfect order. Football enjoys special attention from the authorities in North Korea. In recent decades, several modern stadiums have been built. A system of training children and youth has been introduced, and league competitions have been organized. For a long time, such a league did not exist at all, or it functioned in a way unlike any normal competition system. Today, matches are held in the country, but the spectators are largely people forcibly assigned by workplaces or military units. The atmosphere in the stands is therefore peculiar. No one can afford to show too much emotion because every behavior is watched. Against this backdrop, it becomes understandable why sports broadcasts in North Korea are filtered so meticulously. Matches from the English Premier League have appeared on state television KCTV, but they are aired with a delay of several months and trimmed to 60 minutes. In addition, Kim Jong-un's regime ordered the removal from broadcast of any footage featuring South Korean players. Among them, Son Heung-min of Tottenham, Hwang Hee-chan of Wolverhampton, and Kim Ji-soo of Brentford. The presence of Southern players on television screens would be especially irritating to the dictator, because it would prove to citizens that their compatriots on the other side of the border are succeeding in elite Western leagues, something North Korean athletes can only dream of. If you found this material interesting, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and check out the next video.